Launch ready for WWE Aftershock in 3, 2, 1. World Wrestling Entertainment Discussion is live. Cue host Owen Finch.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to WWE Aftershock Season 3, Episode 2. I almost said Season 2, Episode 3, but that would have been one. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with...
Chris.
And look at this, we're still doing well in our schedule. We missed a video. Hey, we're still doing well. We missed one video, but we're gonna fix that. You know, we're gonna rectify that.
I hyped it up like we were gonna do something the first time ever, and it never happened.
Yeah, it did not happen. Almost there though. We almost did it. Yeah.
They're gonna unsubscribe and leave us now.
Yeah, they probably will. But yeah, so we had to do WWE Aftershock. We're going to basically cover the rest of the stuff that happened last week because we only covered Netflix Raw. We have other stuff we got to cover. We're going to cover NXT New Year's Evil. We're going to cover the second ever 3-hour SmackDown, and then we're going to cover main events. Well, mainly just me. You're not going to probably say a word about that. And then...
Nope.
Yeah, main event's a show for you, like I said in the retro, that's just never gonna die. It's gonna outlive you, I think, Chris. So
outlive me for sure.
And then we're gonna talk about some rating numbers and just talk about some other news and everything like that. So yeah, why don't we start off by breaking down NXT New Year's Evil? I assume you don't have the notes ready because you forgot you were probably doing it. So you're gonna need some time to get that going.
I already had it up.
Oh, good. You actually did a good job. So, yeah, let's talk about NXT New Year's Evil.
So they show, the usual of wrestlers arriving, and who was one of the people arriving? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was supposed to appear on the show, and he did a couple of times. And then they cut it back to commentary. And Vic Joseph and Booker T welcomed us. And there was a little bit of a surprise. With the reshuffling of everything going on the commentary team with Pat McAfee coming back from his fall break to do College Game Day. He was back on Raw with Michael Cole, which they announced about a month ago now at this point. And on SmackDown, it's Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. And now, for NXT, it's Vic Joseph, Booker T, and Corey Graves. With no Byron Saxton. So, they slowly ushered in Corey Graves, and it was a bit of a surprise to see Corey on NXT. I thought for sure it was going to be a 3-man booth on SmackDown, which kind of would have made a little bit of sense, but they liked the tandem of Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, and they just moved them over, and Corey got bumped to NXT, which the dynamics are weird on NXT, I'll say, throughout the night. Is a lot of... I know that Booker and Corey had a little bit of rift, and I don't know if it's playing it up for the audience, but it definitely seemed, I guess, tense at times.
Also, some of this is like... Booker T on his commentary where like him on a 3-man booth doesn't work because him on a 2-man booth is bad enough as it is, but like with the third guy never gets to like say anything or anything like that. Like it just talks over everybody too. So it's like
he just talks over them.
Right.
It's bad enough when it's just Vic Joseph, but now it's fucking Corey Graves too. So that's gonna take some getting used to.
Especially, too, because Vic and Booker have been together since, like, 2022, and Corey Graves is kind of coming in with, like, a formula that, for them, because it doesn't work for me, but for them, they're already in the they already have the chemistry and everything like that, and Corey Graves is kind of coming in. We also I don't think Corey Graves know what his role is going to be, because Booker T doesn't even know what his role is. Sometimes he's a face on commentary, and sometimes he's like a heel on commentary. He doesn't know what side to pick, so it's like...
Not a fucking clue.
Yeah. It's
Not
like,
a fucking
do you remember that Survivor Series show where like he was supposed to be like on Raw or something, but he kept picking both sides? He like didn't know, he forgot what brand he was supposed to be like representing, and Corey Graves was the guy that was supposed to be pro both brands, but at some points Corey had to be like pro Raw, and some points he had to be like pro SmackDown, not because of the story, because Booker T couldn't pick a side type of thing. Like,
so Corey had to pick a side for him.
You had to like tell him he was on Raw. Like, I'm supposed to be the guy that's neutral. You're the guy that's like, because I think at one point, wasn't on that show Booker T like he was like raging about his own guys and all that type of stuff, and Corey Graves had to come to that guy's defense. I'm pretty sure that happened. Like,
it's a really odd tandem. It's a really odd, like. First of all, it's like Booker's like over the fucking top, and Corey's more reserved, but they're both kind of heels.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess like Booker was like the heel, and like Corey was the tweener, I guess, because he was definitely sort of in that neutral role. And then of course Vic Joseph is the Michael Cole, where he's like the babyface.
Right.
That one's completely obvious.
This tandem is.
It's not. I think it might work out. I don't know. Or they might just say fuck it and move Corey back up,
or take Booker off and temporarily, and then keep Vic and Corey together until. So I imagine too this is going to be temporary too. Like once College Game Day picks back up and everything like that, Pat will be away and Corey will probably just he'll probably go to Raw with Cole once.
College Game Day will be back in like. Late August.
Yeah, so I imagine this is going to be temporary, but they're going to have to like do. It's long enough though. They're going to have to like figure this formula out and everything like that. It is kind of cool though that Corey Graves is back in NXT, you know, because that's where he got to start like commentary wise at all. So that's pretty cool that he's back in NXT. It's just, I think this was supposed to be a cool moment for him, but I don't think it was. It was probably a stressful moment for him once I think too.
They even mentioned it too, their little rift that they had.
Yeah, so I
don't think anything changed.
Yeah.
So, especially watching the show, was like, man, these two do not get along at all.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, type of thing. I think that made the commentary a little weird, and I think Vic Joseph kind of had to play. I mean, he's supposed to. That's his role, anyways. But he had to play middleman, I think, to kind of keep these two from like tearing each other's heads off, type of thing, and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah, let's just continue talking about New Year's Evil.
So, the first match on the show was Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship, and this match, is just a phenomenal match. It lived up to expectations. The first match they had was kind of, not so great. It was so good, but it definitely felt like there was a learning curve between Julia's more, strong style, Japanese style wrestling, and Roxanne Perez's more WWE style of wrestling. But this match, way different, on the same wavelength. Way better than the first match they had. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Near the end, they brought Cora Jade gets involved to try to help her best friend win the match. That doesn't help. It doesn't work. So Julia lays her out. Hits, Cora goes back in. Julia goes back in. Roxanne hits Pop Rocks, which she's won a million fucking times with that move. Doesn't work. Gets her in the Fujiwara armbar, and then eventually Julia wins the NXT Women's Championship with her Northern Lights bomb, and huge ovation. Everyone thought it was going to be the first night on CW that she won the championship. I'm kind of happy that they waited a few months to give Roxy a bit of a title, more like to her title reign. this match was awesome. I loved it.
Especially if this match was a better match to win it off of and everything like that. First show on, of the year and everything like that. And also, too, it makes the... what's the name of that match? They do the Iron Survivor Challenge like more significant because I'm pretty sure up until this show only like one person has won the title. That was an Iron Survivor Challenge winner, so it made that matter. And plus, too, like, Julia got to, like, adjust to the WWE style a little bit more and everything like that. A funny thing is, this kind of showed Booker T, like, blamed Corey Grave for this, that, like, Roxanne Perez lost, that he was, like, bad luck and everything. Like, I was kind of wondering, was he, like, genuinely pissed there, or was he, like, kayfabing us there? Like, what was going on there? Like, I think he was genuinely pissed that happened, type of thing. He blamed Corey for it, type of thing. So that was pretty weird. And yeah, I like the fact that Julia won. It's finally time to put the title on her and start to build the NXT brand around her. I mean, this is going to be good too because I think a lot of people too can adjust to her offense because she hasn't really wrestled yet. I think the only person that she's like wrestled really one-on-one that like wasn't in the indies first was Kalani Jordan, and that made sense, but everybody, and I guess Jasmine Nix, but I don't think they actually did anything together when they like wrestled. I think I think it was just the other members of Fatal Influence that like did stuff. I don't think she actually took any moves from Julia at that point. But yeah, overall, I like this. I give it like 4.5 stars. I thought this was a great match, and this was a great way to end Roxanne Perez's title reign. I don't think she's done in NXT yet. I think they're still going to wait until after WrestleMania to call her up, just because I don't really know what... The only thing she can really do if she gets called up is probably compete for the tag titles, just because, there's just so much star power on Raw and SmackDown in the main title pictures. I guess you could compete for the U.S. title, but I don't... But right now... the women's U.S. champ's a heel right now, and that dynamic won't work. And I guess will depend. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter for the women's IC title because both people that are fighting for it tonight are faces. But I think they want to probably call up Roxanne and Cora together and probably have them be a team because WWE kind of needs to get some tag teams in there, type of thing. It'd be kind of weird because she'll get called up, win the tag titles, and then she could just show up back again in NXT. So I feel it would be kind of funny if they won the tag titles. She just shows back up in NXT. That'd be hilarious. I think that'd be awesome. But overall, I thought this was great stuff. I give it 4.5 stars. What'd you give this as a nice little star rating?
I give it 4.5 too. The match was great. Like I said, like when I reviewed it, it was a match that had much more chemistry in it than it did in their first match. And plus, they've had a few matches since then, so it kind of helps that like Roxanne kind of got used to that style. But yeah, overall, I give it 4.5. Just a great match. So they cut to the backstage, and Eddie Thorpe is healing it up, faking like he's hurt once again.
Well, we thought so, anyways.
And he's sitting on the steps. He's getting medical attention, and Ava just comes up and goes, "Just suck it up." He shows him falling for it, and that made him really, really, really mad.
As much as I love that Ava did this, how much better would this have been if The Rock came up and like told him to walk it off? That would have been awesome. He probably would have gotten some shit online for it, but still, I would have taken the risk. That would have been awesome.
That would have been cool. Like defending his daughter after she got like taken out.
Yeah. Overall, I thought this was kind of whatever. It kind of doesn't really go anywhere later in the show, so it's like whatever. And I guess it was funny, because he did this before. But then we find out later that I guess this was real this time. So I kind of like the fact that like he got his comeuppance. He cried wolf too many times, I guess. So that's not good.
Yeah, no one believed him.
Well, until Loba Febby said something, and then she still made him go. She still made him go out there. So that's pretty funny. So
they show Stephanie Vaquer and backstage, and she makes her entrance, and then they come back, and it's NXT Vengeance Day hype for February 15th. That's I would assume that's on the CW and not on pay-per-view.
Well, it's on like a week. It's on a weekend, so I think it's on pay-per-view.
Yeah, yep. Okay, so that's gonna be their PLE.
Yeah. because that's
They
usually.
did New Evil used to be like one of their PLEs, but it's not anymore.
Yeah, I think they never really are consistent of what's a PLE and what's not. Because sometimes Halloween Havoc hasn't been, and sometimes In Your House has been, but then hasn't been. So they don't really make it consistent of what the PLE is and what isn't the PLE. So
No, yeah.
I think one thing we forgot to mention too is they were in Los Angeles, California, I think. Like for this show, I don't remember exactly because it's been a week, but I remember it's like it was roughly the same place Raw was, because that's why that's the main reason the Rock was able to be there, because he was already in the area and everything like that. So kind of cool. They're starting
in a small.
They're kind of starting to tour a little bit more often now when they go for their shows, which I think is good, because they've been in Lowell, Massachusetts the past couple of weeks, and then here they were in Los Angeles. They're probably going to go back to the PC next week, which is fine. But I like the fact that this is kind of where they fucked up the first time around when during the Wednesday Night Wars. They stayed in the they stayed in Full Sail for the most part, and it kind of that's kind of why a lot of people, even though that Full Sail crowd would always be great, that's why AEW would always beat them in that department when it came to attendance. Well, that's not the only reason why AEW beat them in that department now, because NXT is winning pretty handily now, and that's not the only reason NXT would win it. But now that they're like leaving the, now that they're leaving the PC and everything like that now, I think it's good that like it gets like they're in a new audience. They're not like, it's not like the Impact. Remember when they would stay in the Impact zone, and like I think a lot of it would get the crowd reactions after each taping would get so quiet that like because they've been there for so long. So. You know what the funny thing is, by the way, it's gonna sound like we're taking a shot here. I guarantee you, NXT probably still gets more attendance figures in the PC than AEW can probably get right now, which is pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic. But yeah, how'd you feel about them being in a new arena? Because we didn't mention that in the beginning.
That's good. I like it. I like that they're touring. They should be touring. That's the one thing. Like, to get people interested, you got to tour. You can't just be in the PC, basically hiding in the PC. You got to go out there and, tour these cities and get people interested in your brand.
Not just that, too. It helps the talent, too. Because now you really see who's over, who isn't over, and, like, they get to wrestle in front of an audience.
Firsthand what happened when they left the PC, because Caden Carter and Katana Chance, literally couldn't hear anyone in the crowd because no one gave a fuck about them.
Oh, that's why Shawn Michaels got, like, pissed that Chase U all of a sudden was over randomly, like, out of the PC. He's like, wait, what the hell?
That card, besides the main event angle.
Yeah. But yeah, let's continue talking about New Year's Evil.
So we get a nice little promo package from Javon Evans, who had his jaw wired shut, and they show, Ethan Page just, beating the shit out of him and stomps the chair on his jaw. And then they show a little quick video of like Cedric getting his hand broken, and Javon Evans basically says that he's going to come for him. He's going to hurt him. I thought this was a really good promo because Javon couldn't talk.
Yeah.
He was talking through the wires and stuff. So it was a really, really good video package.
I like this a lot. Yeah, like I like that because typically when they do an angle like that, the person's like never seen until they return. So I actually like that they like showed him like recovering and everything like that. It will make it like his return even cooler type of thing. You know what the funny thing is, and then we'll stop taking shots. He probably still kind of. Even though his mouth is wide shut, he probably still cut a better promo than Ricochet doing this.
100%. Someone who's not afraid of the microphone is someone who is afraid of the microphone.
Yes.
We finally get to that match now because WWE loves to do that. They love to fucking cut to commercial break before someone makes their entrance, and they come back and it's, hey, here's the match.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to mention it later. I messaged in the chat that Fatal Influence come out later, and I think they were in the ring for literally 5 minutes before the match actually happened. Like,
but we cut to the ring, and Kalani Jordan for some reason didn't get an entrance, which is very odd.
Yeah, that was odd.
I'm surprised not Cora Jade didn't get an entrance either. It was just Lola Vice and Stephanie Fakir. Which is, I mean, Stephanie should have gotten an entrance, but like, it's really weird that Kawani Jordan literally was Women's North American Champion like not even a couple months ago.
Yeah. I didn't mind Cora Jade not getting one because she was already out there anyway, so that didn't really bother me. So I think she was just...
Yeah, it was just weird that Kalani didn't get one.
Yeah, because I remember sometimes I always hated when like they wrestle would go backstage and do their entrance when they're already out there. Like I remember, I'm pretty sure Metaphor did this a few times where like Last Legend and Jakara Jackson would be out there. They would already have a match and then they would come back out and do the whole entrance all over again. It'd be so stupid.
Let's do it! Do it again!
Yeah. But, yeah, it was weird that Kalani Jordan didn't get an entrance. But in hindsight, I think they were probably trying to give The Rock as much time as he could to do his promo later. So, like, I think they had to cut some stuff off, like, the show.
They should have cut about 10 more minutes off if they wanted to do the fucking promo.
Yeah, I don't think he got to do we'll talk about that later. I don't think the promo that he did on this show was probably supposed to be the promo. So...
this Fatal 4-Way Women's match was, again, great. There was two really, really, really good matches.
Yeah.
To start out the show. I love this. This match was really good. Yeah, it was. I loved it. Honestly, forgot who won.
Vacuum won.
Yeah, that makes sense. Stephanie Vacker won. Yeah.
I think she pinned. I don't think she pinned Cora. I think she pinned Lola or. I don't think she pinned Kalani.
Jordan. Jordan. That's who.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was phenomenal match. Stephanie winning made a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Her becoming the #1 contender made way too much sense. And it'll be interesting to see if they go with Stephanie and Julia as the champions.
I think this is good too because this keeps them separate from each other. Because I think that's going to be a big match that happens at some point, and I think this would be good to I don't think you should do the match immediately. I think you should wait a year, so this kind of gives both of them something to do to kind of keep them away from each other, type of thing. Like, and plus I think we need to validate all these sign-ins recently with Zarya, Stephanie Vacchio, and Julia, and they've done one of them so far. And I think, Stephanie Vacchio winning the Women's North American title. And then, whatever happened to Zarya, whether that's the tag titles or maybe going heel and beating one of them for the belt or something type of thing. So this is kind of good to have, like, Stephanie Vacchio and Julia give them something to do to kind of stay, have them stay away from each other and save the big match for the future.
Yes, I agree. I would prefer that be like a stand and deliver match,
but not this year. I would do it next year. Yeah,
they don't really need to interact right now.
Yeah, except unless they're tagging with each other and stuff like that.
Because they're still playing up like that friendship.
Right. I mean, then again, though, Shawn Michaels, this is Shawn Michaels booking tag teams. He might just decide, hey, I'm going to, this is over now. He did that with Tatum Paxley and Ivy Nile randomly for no reason. So, he could do this again. He could do that again.
It was that. But that was old Shawn Michaels. This is the new Shawn Michaels. I don't
know. So sometimes old habits have the way of coming back. Shawn Michaels, he's not afraid to let people know he hates tag teams. I'm pretty sure he broke up Chase U again for no reason. I'm just saying he still has those moments where he's got those booking tendencies that he just can't help himself from. He hates
gimmicks that are over.
He needs something too to make sure he doesn't go back to his addicts. The breaking up the tag teams, is his vice. That's his new vice now. He needs something to get to as a new vice.
It is. That is his vice.
Breaking up tag teams and what's another one? I think signing women that have no talent. I think that's another one of his right now type of thing.
That is very much a talent. That is very much what he does.
So.
Looks only. No in-ring ability.
This match was 4 stars, though. I thought it was great. Everyone looked great in this match. And I thought everyone got to showcase their stuff. It's pretty funny, though. I don't think Cora Jade is like... I think someone pointed this out like a few weeks ago. I don't think Cora Jade's like won one match since she's been back. I think she's back to doing what she was doing before.
I literally can't tell you the last time Cora Jade even won a match, let alone... let alone in the last few weeks.
Yeah. I don't think she's won. She's been back because it's all been tag stuff.
Did she win one after her titty surgery? After her titty enhancement?
Yeah, because that was when she was supposed to be feuding with Lyra for the women's title, and I think.
Oh yeah, she had like a couple of matches. She had like 2 matches or 3 matches or something like that.
Yeah, so because I think she was supposed to face. And then because I think she was supposed to face, Lyra at Vengeance Day. I think the report said she was going to win the belt, but with how she's booked, I don't believe that. I think she was probably going to lose, and then maybe like Roxanne Perez still would have turned heel or something. I'm not even sure.
I think that would have happened. Too.
I mean, I don't think it matters. I think wrestling probably right now for Cora Jade's like number 3 on the list of like priorities at the moment. So.
Yeah. So backstage, Ava has the unholy union. Nice to see them on fucking TV. They've been on TV in forever.
Yeah.
That they are that they're booked in a number 1 contenders match for next week. That really could. That was like why? I'm like they've done nothing. So why the fuck do they deserve a title?
I don't know. They need teams, I guess.
Very weird. Then they're continuously backstage, and Ava, and then Eddie Thorpe shows up, and he's fine. Obafemi comes in and says that he was actually the one that attacked Eddie as a receipt, and Ava's like, okay, whatever. You're still competing.
Yeah,
it's like she just didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I was fine. The women's tag title stuff, I was kind of like whatever, but I do like that it's incorporated with NXT now, type of thing. I think though one of the times they get defended in NXT, an NXT team needs to win it because no one ever believes it when they get defended in NXT that the champs lose because it's always a main roster team that's like way over than the team that face in NXT. So they need to start like having them. One of the NXT teams needs to win. It's just not going to be this time because none of these NXT teams are over enough. I don't think to really win.
That's the thing that kind of like them merging the two into one didn't make any sense. They had the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, and then they had the main roster Tag Team Championships, and then they fucking combined them into one, and they never come down and defend them in NXT.
Yeah.
I was like, what was the point of getting rid of the NXT Women's Tag titles just for them to go, we're not going to ever have the titles done there anyway.
Right. But yeah, then, but I like that. I like the Obafemi stuff. I thought that was cool. By the way, did you give a star rating for the 4-way? I think you didn't get to give your star rating. Okay, there you go. Just want to make sure your star ratings are thrown out there. That they're not just you didn't just write them down. You don't get to say them, type of thing. So
I don't even write them down.
You just come up with them.
Just come up with off the top of the old cranium. But now we have Fatal Influence making their entrance, and they go to break. Good, great, and then they come back from break, and Triple H and Nick Khan are ringside, hanging out.
Yeah, cool.
Chopping it up, get a huge reaction. The actual good Khan.
Yeah, I like him. Remember back in 2021, it was reversed. Everyone liked Tony and hated Nick, and now it's like the other way around for the most part. Like Nick is more well received at the moment than Tony,
as it should be.
Yeah. Hey, 2021. You were the other way though. You liked Tony probably better than Nick. So.
Well, it was at the time, because Tony actually wasn't showing any faults yet, and now he's all faults.
Yeah, and Nick is not.
No, they just got a $3.5 billion deal.
Yeah,
to be on Netflix.
They got CM Punk. They got CM Punk to come back too because
$3.5 million. Yeah, $3.5 million to go for SmackDown to go to USA.
Yeah, And he got. I mean, don't forget, Nick Khan's the one that called CM Punk to come back.
He's responsible.
It's just kind of funny. You never thought CM Punk would do, would do business with anyone with the last name Khan ever again, but he has. So
With the good one this time.
Funny thing is, they're not even related too. I think a lot of people think that, and then that's not even the case.
They're not related at all. So we get to that match now. It's Fatal Influence versus Gigi Dawn, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tana Paxley, and everyone had a fucking orgasm over the fact that they did a sexy entrance last week. And this week they got beaten up, and everyone hated it. So that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, just a solid 6-woman tag. Nothing too spectacular happened. And the faces won, so that makes a lot of sense because Fatal Influence is literally trash.
They are.
Literal bottom tier garbage.
If we did like a award show this year, we're probably not doing it, but if we did one, they would probably win like worst faction of the year, probably.
They're horrible. They're awful. I never, ever, ever liked JC Jane one time. She was terrible.
Yes.
Fallon Henley is miscast. And Jasmine Nix can't wrestle, so that's great. She's just hot. That's the only reason why she's hot. She's one of those fucking Shawn Michaels hires.
And the faction just
who's hot. If you're a hot soccer player, you're gonna get hired. You're gonna get hired by WWE.
And also too, the faction just doesn't make sense because the whole reason they're supposed to be together is to take out all of like the NXT rookies. But Jasmine Nix being in the faction just kind of throws that. She's probably the worst out of all the NXT rookies they're trying to take out too, which is pretty funny. So.
Pretty terrible. That's why.
You know what's going to be next? Now that the ID program's in effect, that's going to be their next target and all that type of stuff too. So, that's not going to be fun.
It could be. I mean, well, their NIL thing is mainly for college athletes, but the ID thing is just for independent wrestlers.
I know. I'm just saying that's not going to be fun having them go after them type of thing because then that's the whole group is like that. That's the whole reason they got together was to take out the NIL athletes. Now they're going to take out the ID athletes. That doesn't even make sense. So
it doesn't.
But that's getting booked though. That's going to happen. Yeah, this was a pretty good match right here. I liked it. Everyone looked good in the match. I gave it like 3 1/4. It kind of ended really unexpectedly. Like Shotzi hit the senton and Fallon like won, and then was like, oh, okay, that's it, I guess. So that's good, I guess. Before this, I think he missed this promo. Out the Mud cut like a really bad promo about how they're gonna win the tag titles, and it was
I don't care about them. That's why.
Yeah, there was just. I remember like when they first showed up, we thought like them and like Jada Parker had like a ton of potential, and it seems like that potential faded very quickly.
Because they were used with Jada Parker for like a quarter of a second. Yeah, and then they disappeared for months. Yeah, and now they're randomly back, and no one cares.
They're not good. They're terrible. The only reason the match with Fraxium's even going to be any good is because of Fraxium. Nobody, not them.
Oh yeah,
Fraxium's going to carry them like big time. So,
we go backstage now, and Ava's back there, and she's reading the riot act to Ethan Page for injuring Javon Evans to the point where his jaw was broken, wired shut. Yeah, she's pissed off at him for that. He complains about being booked on the big show. He's getting very testy. And all of a sudden, who is it? Oh, that's right. Her father shows up. That's right. The Rock shows up. And it's a nice little father-daughter moment here. They go, Rock praises Ethan Page for the most part. And he says that in NXT, he says he's the final boss. But in NXT, Ava's the final boss, which is really cool. He bestowed that upon her. And he basically tells Ethan Page that he's going to see him on the main roster. And on his way out the door, he gives a little pat on the ass.
That was awesome.
Like he's his fucking secretary. He goes out the door, just gives a little pat on the ass.
That was
wicked funny.
Yeah.
uh, in in he, and then they have their little father-daughter moment. And it was really cool. Everyone knows that's his fucking daughter. It's not a fucking surprise. But yeah, it was a really good backstage segment. I like the back and forth between Ava and Ethan Page, and then Papa Bear comes in and he kind of eases the tension a little bit there.
Yes, he does. I thought this was good. Ethan Page and The Rock. It was those were the two I wanted to see go at it when The Rock showed up, and I'm glad they did go at it. They didn't go out in the ring like I wanted, but the backstage was pretty cool. He put Ethan Page over a lot too. He didn't like bury him or anything like that, and the father-daughter moment was pretty cool. They didn't really acknowledge it. It was kind of like the William Regal, Charlie Dempsey thing, where like they'll kind of tell us the father and son type of thing without telling us.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like implied that hey, that's their children.
Yeah,
but it's not like explicitly. She didn't go like, "Hey, Dad," or anything like that, which would have been like, okay, that's a little bit too much. But it's like it's implied that that's his daughter.
Yeah,
which everyone knows that now, so it's not a shock.
Yeah,
especially if you're watching NXT, you know that's his daughter.
Yes.
So after that segment, Lexus King has his entrance, and they go to break, and now it's Charlie Dempsey versus Lexus King in a sudden death match for the NXT Heritage Cup. Because I think it was because Lexus King didn't like the way that he won, that Regal cheated for him. He didn't like that, so they basically just set this match up as a sudden death match.
And who was the champion, by the way? Who was the champ, by the way, here? Because I've only watched highlights up to this point, and I saw like that happen. But like, did they?
I think it's Lexus King. I'm pretty sure. Because Charlie Dempsey is the champion.
Yeah, because he came out with the cup, but I thought like he just stole it from him and everything like that.
It is. Yeah, because on cage side seats it has Charlie Dempsey with the C next to his name, so that means champion.
Yeah,
I forgot so he is the champion. So
they must have like reversed the decision or something then. So yeah,
they did.
I wonder how they got the cup over, by the way, because they've been out of the PC, and they're the only time. This is like the first time they've like really done anything since Noam Dar was like the champ when he showed up to Battleground all that time ago, like out of the PC. So I wonder, that must have been a pain in the ass to get that through customs and everything like that, like we've speculated before. So
it is a pain in the ass to get anything through customs, whether it's the heritage or the championships. But even sports in general, it's really tough to get like a Stanley Cup or a Super Bowl championship.
But the briefcase,
title.
Yeah, the briefcase, like the Money in the Bank briefcase, they at least can put that like in their suitcase. This they can't do that. They have to. A
lot of them use this to carry on. Yeah,
so like the cup is like difficult to get through type of thing. I wonder if they just like ship it type of thing. Like through the postal service,
that's probably the more ideal thing to do rather than have them carry that thing through customs, and that would just be a pain in the ass because then they have to like open it up and examine it to make sure it's not like explosives in it or anything like that because you're at an airport. But I think that what they do is they ship it down there. Also, so they ship it to
because also too like. You can't. You have to basically carry. You have to put this thing like in its own suitcase. I think this thing's too big to like have anything else go with it, type of thing. So
that's why I think they didn't want to bring the Saudi championships like stateside, is because they were fucking huge.
Yeah.
So they only had them like there. It's only there. So, but they have the ring and everything. But
yeah, because I imagine.
It back over
because I imagine once they do that again, because I know they were doing that, but now that like they've crowned the champs and everything like that, they'll probably just like announce it and just show the belt like in Saudi and everything like that now. So
yes. So we get to the cup match now, and it's it's a really good match. Just a really, again, another really good match on the show.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. And Lexus King wins with the coronation and becomes the new NXT Heritage Cup champion, this time without the help of William Regal. He won it all on his own. Big moment for him, his first championship in WWE. Just a really good match again.
Yeah, I give it like 3.5. It was really good. Also, too, I think he hit like a low blow or something by mistake. And like he was kind of debating whether or not he wanted to capitalize on that, because he's been trying not to cheat and everything like that. And this time he did. So, so he was kind of conflicted about it, type of thing, at the end there and everything like that. So it's good. He doesn't need to be conflicted about anything, though. He did what he was supposed to do, and I like the fact that he's the Heritage Cup champion now, type of thing. Gives him something to do for a little bit, and I'm liking this face run of Lexus King at the moment.
As do I. I give it 3.5. It's really like a. It's a really it's like a really weird babyface angle because he started as such like a dickhead, and now it's like he's kind of undoing all that, like being very nice to people and more so Brian Pillman than Lexus King.
Also, too, I remember this happened pretty randomly too. Like one week he was like a heel, and then all of a sudden they started this out like we weren't really sure if this was being genuine or not. So now it seems like they're gonna go with it, type of thing. So
I do. I like him as a babyface. I think this kind of suits him a little bit better than the forced heel run, where he's just like every week he'd have the goofy fucking shave on his beard, and I was like, okay. I was like, this is getting fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think he got rid of that now. So
less of a serious heel and more of like a comedy heel with the way he looks.
Yeah.
But he's been a really good babyface, and this is a really nice championship for him to have. I'm excited to see where it goes because I really do I like him a lot.
I mean, what sucks is this means we have to see more British rounds matches now. I kind of wish they would just do sudden death at this point, type of thing now. But whatever.
You should have the option.
Yeah, I think they should just do because
okay, so if you want to do it, the British rounds way, you can do it the British rounds way. But if you want to do it more so the regular style title defense, you can do it that way too.
I think the biggest thing I hate about the Heritage Cup, like the British rounds rules, is when there's a tie, the heel will cheat to win, or like get help to win, and then the next week the babyface will get mad that like he got cost the match, but like he was already losing anyways, because like if it's a tie, the champ retains. So like, why do you want help to win? Like, just tape it a tie. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're already winning. I also don't like the fact that like once there's a DQ, the match is over pretty much. That's pretty stupid too. And then like I don't like the fact that like the rounds are like 2 minutes, because like by the time anything gets the wrestlers find the steam in the match, they have to like take a break and everything like that. Like it's just they should just make it like
I get why they do it. It's more of a tribute to the old British style of wrestling, but like you should give them the option.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to challenge myself and do this X amount of round, like the British rule style of it, or like, hey, let's just do a regular title defense instead of having to do the British rounds.
It's better than the remember the Grand Championship Impact was doing, where it was like the UFC type of thing.
They tried so hard with that, and then it was awful.
I'm pretty sure, from the beginning. With hindsight too, I think Billy Corgan was the brainchild of that, because I think that went away very quickly once he left the company. So
it did. Terrible idea.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this match. I gave it 3.5 stars. Kind of wonder what this means for no quarter catch crew at this point. Maybe they move up, they go for the North American title, because there's still some history there with Tony D and everything like that. Or if they're probably not going to go for the NXT title, because that changed on this show. So it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. They need to be booked more serious, this type of thing. The biggest thing is they just have to get rid of Ren Sinclair and everything would be, and just book them seriously, and everything would be like fine, pretty much. Because
too goofy.
Yeah. So
she started out as like Bailey, and then like now she's like the goofy leader of the group, and I was like, she keeps booking him in matches. I'm like, I don't have any interest in you.
Yeah. If they got rid of Ren Sinclair, if they got rid, the biggest thing I would like is if Triple H called them up and just left Ren Sinclair down there, and they would be booked like, they would be like Imperium and then NXT UK and everything like that, like aggressive and vicious and everything like that. Also, I think also the faction keeps changing. I think they've had like a lot of members leave the faction and like come into the faction. You don't really it's kind of tough to keep track of who. It's almost like the NWO, but like not that type of thing. So
Drew Gulak, creep, gone. No mention. Keep his shitty theme song.
Damon Kemp gone.
Damon Kemp gone. Contract expired. Not that good. Gone. Miles Bourne's there.
Yeah.
Charlie Dempsey and Ren Sinclair. I think it's just those three. I'm pretty sure.
No, Tavion Heights, which is kind of weird because you don't really know because he's like a face, but he's also like a heel somehow. Like his character is very undefined in this group type of thing. And so this group is kind of like a better version of Blackpool Combat Club, where like everyone in the group, like Charlie Dempsey's clearly a heel. Tavion Heights is kind of like tweener. Miles Bourne's a heel, and Ren Sinclair is somehow is the baby face for some reason. So
it's just a weird group.
Yeah.
They need to pick one thing and stick to it.
I think Drew Gulak having to leave is probably what fucked this group up ultimately, because everything was going well until he got released pretty much.
Yeah. It's his own doing. So now they go backstage and they're in the office and Shotzi and Stephanie are there and they're arguing who the number one contender is for Fallon Henley's North American Championship. Fallon says that, hey, it should be Stephanie and Shotzi fighting it out for an opportunity at my championship, and Ava agreed to it. What the fuck was the point of Stephanie winning a match for a number one contendership for the North American Championship if they're just going to go back later on the show and say,
yeah, I didn't like that.
Have a match to decide who the number one contender is.
They should have done something
Why not put Stephanie in the goddamn match then?
Or either that, or like, why not just say like whoever wins between Stephanie and Fallon, like Shotzi gets the winner or whatever, like that.
Yeah.
Like,
it should have been Shotzi versus Fallon for the NXT Women's North American Championship, and then the winner of that match, whoever it is, then faces Stephanie.
All this is just them, I think, trying to buy time, because I imagine when Stephanie gets the shot, it's going to be at Vengeance Day or St. Valentine's Day Massacre, whatever it's called. I think I get this name. I think I get mixed them up every year, and the only time I get them right is when the show's already happened. So that's pretty funny. But I'm pretty sure
it is Vengeance Day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just trying to buy time and just give Stephanie Vacchio something to do. This is just kind of a waste of time because this kind of negated Stephanie Vacchio's thing, and then obviously we just have to like watch a match next week between Shotzi and Stephanie Vacchio that will probably be like fine, and then Stephanie Vacchio would just win.
There's a difference,
huh?
It's weird to know who's winning anyway.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they booked this match.
Just weird.
I don't know why they didn't just put like Shotzi in the 4-way and take out Lola or whatever, type of thing. That way we wouldn't have to deal with any of this type of thing.
Yeah. It was just an unnecessary segment for a show that needed time.
Yeah, it did.
At the end,
yeah, it
because
did.
Of a certain great one.
Yeah, that's also they should have just done this next week and then do the match next week, like this segment or whatever, like type of thing.
It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Obafemi and Trick Williams are walking backstage, and then they go to break, and then they come back. It's that triple threat match for the NXT Championship. It's Eddie Thorpe versus Obafemi versus the champion Trick Williams. Just fucking watch it. I can't put it like into words. Just go watch it. I'll tell you who won. Obafemi. He won with a fall from grace on Trick Williams to become your new NXT champion. He said, and then he goes up and he celebrates with Julie on the stage, and yeah, this match is phenomenal. Just a great match overall. Wonderful, great match.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. The only thing maybe like 4.25. The only thing I didn't like about this match is all the Eddie Thorpe stuff. There was really no need for him to be here. He was just. It felt like they just put him there to protect Trick and Defeat, so that way they could do Trick and Obo again. I just don't understand the point of that. Like, I feel like there's no need to protect. Like, I feel like people aren't gonna think any less of Trick Williams if he loses to Obafemi. Like,
I think less of him now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna, because like Obafemi is like a powerhouse. Also,
he's a bitch. I could have lost.
Also,
I think less of.
Also, all the Eddie Thorpe stuff, if you think about it, took away from the Great Ones segment later in the night. So they should have just had they should have just like saved Eddie Thorpe for like a different time or whatever. Because this Eddie Thorpe stuff was just kind of a waste of time. Like it really should have.
He's fucking useless.
Yeah, it really should have just been Oba versus Trick.
It really should have been that.
Because it really was. That's like, I feel like when Eddie Thorpe comes there, the biggest thing you left out is all he's really there for is just to get beat up. That's really all he does. He doesn't do any that's all he's there for. Like, I don't think he hits one move in this match. So this was just like, okay, why is this a thing? Anytime I see Eddie Thorpe, I'm just like, why are you here? Because his run has been his run has been so weird in NXT. He'll show up, then he'll disappear forever, and then his things he wants to go like to his Indian like roots, and then all of a sudden now he doesn't. Like, what is his character? What is his purpose on the show?
He was his Native American heritage, which was cool. I liked it. I thought it got over with the crowd. And then he disappeared forever. They came back randomly as a heel for some reason.
Yeah.
That confused me. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Eddie Thorpe was like a mid-card babyface. Like, what the fuck is he? Like, one of the top mid-card babyfaces. Like, why the fuck is he a heel randomly for no reason?
But there was really no reason for him to be in this like match or like in this program. It should have just been Trick and Oba, and that was it. Like,
yeah, it should have been a singles match. Because he does nothing.
Yeah. And again, everything they did with Eddie Thorpe took away from the Great Ones segment later on too.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I give it 4.25. Like, nothing. It was a really good match. It would have bumped up a little bit more had it just been a singles match.
Right. It's so weird too, because this whole feud like has just been about Obo and Trick, and Eddie Thorpe's been like a fly, like annoying them type of thing. Like, it's like, get out of here type of thing. Like,
it doesn't even seem a legitimate like threat.
I know, yeah.
They built him up as like this goof who like fakes his injuries. That's what they've been doing.
I just think it's hilarious that the one time it wasn't fake, he still had to go out there anyways. You know, the funny thing is, if he just never went out there, it's not like he was forced out there. He pretty much went out there by himself. Like, it's like he came out of the trainer's room and as he's supposed to be like this big baby face and all that type of stuff. Like, it's not like he was forced to go out there. He could have just stayed in the trainer's room and just said faked it up and just said like it wasn't clear. Like, what who cleared him? Like, why did he go out there? Like,
exactly. Idiots. So they go to commercial break and they come back, and it's The Rock. Okay, the Great One, People's Champion. It's him. He gets to them. He only has, by the way, I looked at the clock and I'm like, there's 6 minutes. I'm like, this guy's promo is like 20 minutes long. How the fuck can he say anything in 6 minutes?
And he did say really. He didn't really say anything in 6 minutes.
He didn't really say anything. He just counted down the time, basically. He comes out and he just starts swearing right out of the gate. He basically says this shit's just fucking this it's fucking me up emotionally, which is like, oh my god! Immediately just comes out and drops an F-bomb. That was so funny.
Yeah.
And it says he'll do the best that he can in 6 minutes, and he rambles on about his nicknames, the people's chant, the most electrifying man in entertainment, the sexiest man alive, the jabroni beating, pie eating, trobo raising, all the other 50 nicknames that he gave himself, and the final boss, The Rock. At this point, he's just rambling.
I think he had he clearly had something planned of what he was gonna say, but then he realized the time. He's like, okay, I can't really say what I was gonna say now, really,
because
anymore.
They don't have overrun because it cuts right to a news program.
And obviously that night they kind of, it's not like they couldn't hold off the news that night because there's been some stuff going on that they kind of had to cover, so it's not like they could be like, yeah, can you just not cover this tonight, yeah. So
and plus they can't, they have to cut the feed at 10 o'clock on the dot, because you can't cut, it's law or something that they can't have overrun anymore.
Yeah, that's one thing that sucks. That's one thing that sucks about them going to CW. I wish they would air the show earlier or something, like 7 and 9. I feel like that would help them a lot. Yeah,
it definitely would.
Because then they could do overrun type of thing.
They could do, yeah, exactly.
I should probably check the next episode to see what's an hour before NXT, if that's even because if it's the news, then the fucked then too type of thing.
It's not. I think it's either Young Shelton or the Big Bang Theory.
Oh, then they can. Yeah, I mean, this is being biased, but they can definitely. Yeah, they can sacrifice Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory.
I know it's a terrible show. So he basically he comes out and says that he gave Cody his props on Netflix the night before because Cody deserved it. He'd been kicking ass, and he wanted to share a drink with him. And fans didn't like it, but The Rock didn't give a shit.
But he did allude enjoy the ride he's taking you on, so that everyone kind of thought that meant that line means something type of thing. There might be something more to that type of thing.
Yeah. So. At the end of the day, he just wanted to remind people that he was the final boss and that he's 20 steps ahead. That is also getting a lot of people talking. 20 steps ahead, that was on the 7th. So people thought that meant that it could be the 27th, which is the Roman Reigns, probably his acknowledgement ceremony, his coronation.
Yeah, we don't.
Potentially the big news about him being maybe a cover athlete or whatever. Because
we don't know what Roman Reigns is exactly doing on that show. We just know he's gonna be there somehow. So
yeah, because they didn't do it on this. Well, we'll get to it, but they didn't do it on SmackDown this week. But he basically just thanks everyone, and it was just a fucking rambly ass fucking promo, and he rushed to the "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," because it was 9:59 by the time he stopped rambling.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point he looked at the camera. He's like, "I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left." And it was so he fucking he rushes his final outgoing line. Yeah, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," and then they immediately fucking fade to black. They get Paul, Triple H, Levesque, and then Lee Fitting, and then fucking news. They had 30 seconds to do that. Overall, I kind of wish that he would have gotten 10, 15 minutes as opposed to 6, because he couldn't fucking say what he needed to say, and he kept walking around the ring and not talking for long periods of time, and it was I get I love The Rock, and he's always gonna be one of my favorites ever, but he was just walking around the ring at times, not saying anything.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, "Rock, you got 3 minutes left. Can you figure out what the fuck you're trying to say?"
The segment was interesting. I didn't really. Funny thing is, I can't say it here and say I hate this segment, because what makes this segment is the fact that they had that The Rock had so much time to say. I was actually entertained by this segment because of the circumstances around it and everything like that.
I was it was 9:57, and I'm like, he hasn't said anything yet. And there's 3 minutes left of the show. I'm like, how the hell? When his music hit, it was like 9:53 or 9:54, and I'm like, how the fuck can this like? I'm like, he doesn't have enough time. It was 9:50. It was 9:50, and I was like, there's 10 minutes left in the show, and it's gonna take him 3 minutes to get to the ring. It's literally it was doomed from the start.
They should have put him on like the beginning of the show. That way, like this would have all been avoided and everything like that. Like,
or if you're gonna have Rock come out at the end of the show, how about don't have that irrelevant segment with Stephanie and Shotzi, or
get rid of Eddie Thorpe completely.
The amount of time that you show wrestlers go into the ring, or cut down on like match times.
Yeah.
If you wanted The Rock to have 10-15 minutes to talk, let him have 10-15 minutes to talk at the end of the show, because he could have actually said what he wanted to say.
I mean, I'll commend him for it though, because a lot of people, have been trashing. Like, The Rock's the boss. He could have been like, nope, he could have come in and completely tore apart the show. But I will commend him the fact that, like, he still kind of let the show for the most part play out like it was supposed to had he not shown up and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people.
He was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go all night long." And I'm like, "Rock, you can't. You literally have a time limit here."
Yeah, that's the Rock. I mean, I'm never gonna hate seeing The Rock, but yeah, like he also had to like squeeze in, make sure to put over the NXT talent. Like, he didn't have a lot of time to do it, and he had to do it like in like less than a minute and everything like that too.
It was like he had like a minute, and it was like, whoa, okay, like, all right, like,
yeah,
like, if I'm not gonna let him fucking speak now, you're gonna put him on at the end of the show and give him fucking a 6-minute block when his promo on the night before on Raw was like fucking 15 minutes long.
I don't think he said anything for like 5 minutes of it either, type of thing too. So
he was taking in the crowd. I'm like, you can't do that if you're gonna come out in the last 6 minutes of the fucking show. Cut the damn fucking promo and stop all the fucking hoopla.
This segment was awesome just because of. I
was laughing the whole time because I'm like, okay, he's already done his shtick already, and there's 2 minutes left, and he goes, 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left. I'm like, okay. I'm like, he's just counting down now. It was like 9:59. He was like, hit your submerl, and he rushed through it. He did it in like fucking 3 seconds.
I just love the fact that he took time to like bury the IWC and everything like that in the 6 minutes. Like, he was talking about stuff too that didn't even have anything to do with NXT New Year's Eve. He was talking about stuff that happened last night. Like,
it was so funny. I liked it. I got a kick out of it.
Yeah, like
I just wish that he had 10 more minutes.
Yeah,
instead of 6 minutes.
But I'm still giving this segment like 2 thumbs up just because of like I had so much fun watching it because of the circumstances around it and everything like that. Like, it just made it so fun. I give it a
thumbs up too. I thought it was, if it was like a regular Rock promo, it probably would not have gotten that high of a rating. But the fact that it was super rushed, and you could tell, and he was getting flustered at times too.
I don't think The Rock's used to having like his time cut and everything like that nowadays.
He was just on Netflix the night before, and it was like, fucking, he could have talked for as long as he wanted to.
But he had a limit, so. Yeah, let's do a nice little letter grade for NXT. The show was awesome. I'm going to give it an A. I thought we had a lot of great matches on it. Not really the only bad thing, I guess, was like the Rock stuff. Yeah, but I'm not going to look at that as a negative. I thought that honestly made this show much more fun to watch. So I'm giving this segment I won't go A+. I feel like that's a bit unfair. That's probably me being a little biased. I'll go A, though. I thought the show was a riot to watch.
I give it an A. The only really bad thing on the show was the 6-woman tag, and
I guess, yeah,
just necessary segments. I guess. I mean, if you wanted to give The Rock more time, you give The Rock more time. You don't give him 6 minutes to come out and cut a rambly ass promo that basically no one knew what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you really did need to have not Fado influence, Fado influence on this show. Do you remember this happened on like the first episode in CW? They had like a meaningless like tag match, and that was really bad too. And then like all that did was just set up Bianca and Jade to come the next week when they could have just had that match like that week, like the first week. I don't like that was really weird.
You know why? Sex appeal. That's why.
Yeah.
This is wrestle because Jasmine X has got a fat ass. That's the only reason why they care.
Which they never showcase, really, type of thing. So, did Jasmine X even do anything in that 6-woman tag? I really don't remember because she doesn't take the pin.
Probably not. Everything she does is unmemorable.
Yeah.
Besides look hot. The only thing that she does that's memorable.
But yeah, let's. But there is some positives out of this show, though. This show did really well in the ratings. It nearly broke 1 million viewers. That was probably mainly because The Rock was announced last minute to show up.
Also, too, it would have done over 1 million had the people on the West Coast got the broadcast, but they didn't because of all the horrific wildfires that are over there.
Yeah,
the Palisades and all the surrounding areas over there in California, which is just horrific and awful. So they were showing the local news coverage in Los Angeles over there instead of NXT. So that's what they replayed on Saturday. I don't know the numbers for Saturday, but it's probably going to be roughly the same, I would say.
But yeah, it's just awesome about the fact that it nearly did broke 1 million views, even with that going on, and it would have, great, and it's great. I mean, did a lot of that to do with The Rock? Probably, but it's kind of cool,
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
But it's kind of cool because Oba gets to wrestle, in front of that big of a crowd, and a lot of people could see what he's capable of. Julia, a lot of people could see what she's capable of, so that's pretty cool. I do want to know the numbers for Saturday because it aired at the same time as Collision, and that's going to be pretty embarrassing if Collision couldn't even beat like a rerun of NXT that like already happened type of thing. So that's gonna be pretty embarrassing. But
yes. I don't know. I just tried looking it up, and I don't see anything on it yet. So everything's from like when it aired originally.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to see like the ratings for a rerun versus like live television and everything like that.
They'll have them up though for sure. They'll
yeah,
and I think it will outdraw AEW.
And if that's the case, AEW's got to really do some soul searching then, because if a rerun of a WWE show that's already happened, and plus too, when they showed the advertisement for it on SmackDown, they like gave away the show already and everything like that. So if that's beating Collision, a show that had some pretty decent star power with like Edge and Jericho and stuff like that, then you need to kind of your world champ was there. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was advertised because why would you advertise your world champion going to show up on the show? Yeah, because and then you have other things on there. If that's beating a live wrestling show, then it's time to like it's time to re-strategize, but it
really is.
But it's not going to happen, so we're just wasting our time talking about that. So, maybe it will happen though. You never know. They have, he's got Kenny Omega there that knows what he's doing, but I don't think Tony's going to listen to him. But we'll see. But yeah, let's continue talking about the WWE shows. We're going to go to... mainly just going to be me here. I want to just break down main event real quick. Main event took place...
Yeah, it should be you.
Main event took place on January 9th, 2025. The commentary was pretty weird for this show, because typically lately main event has only been recorded. They'll have the commentary either they just do the commentary in Stamford and they just do it over the show. They actually were there this time. It was Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett this time for the first match. The first match was Selena Vega versus Shayna Baszler. This was a good back and forth match. Eventually, Shayna Baszler wins by making Zelina tap out to the Karafuda clutch. Overall, a good match right there. I enjoyed that. I thought Zelina looked really good in this match. And then the next match was Alpha Academy versus Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne. This match, it was Blake Howard and Vic Joseph on commentary for. Vic Joseph said, I guess Wade Barrett got so mad he had to sit next to him, he just left. I'm pretty sure there was that's the kayfabe reason. I'm pretty sure the real reason was he was, because it was the same day Raw went on Netflix, they taped this. I'm pretty sure he had to go do something there. And, I bet the kayfabe reason you're going to say is that Wade Barrett wanted to, walk, he got sick of main event, but that's probably not what the reason is. It's just a reason you're going to convince yourself that it is. But this match was good. I give this 3 stars. Eventually Alpha Academy won, which was pretty cool. And main event was pretty solid. I'll give that a B-. Just 2 good matches on it. And I'm pretty sure too, main event, because WWE lost their Hulu deal, they just, after it happens, they just put it on Peacock now, because before they wouldn't put it on Peacock for 30 days because of some TV deal that they had going on. But now that that's not the case anymore, I guess they just put it on Peacock pretty immediate now and everything like that. So that's it's pretty cool for them, I guess. Let's go to SmackDown. You didn't, like I said, my prediction came true. You didn't say a word about main event, so let's move on to
word.
Let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown took place on January 10th, 2025. You already said the commentary team, Wade Barrett and Joe Tess. This was the first show they did on SmackDown, so they had they did kind of the set where they were on the mic in the beginning, and then they switched to the head boots type of thing. And Paul Heyman comes out to cut a promo, and he talks about how now Roman Reigns has gotten back to Ula Fala. He's finally the real tribal chief, but everyone's kind of wondering what's next for Roman Reigns now that he's gone back as Ula Fala. And he calls out Cody Rhodes because he wants to talk to him face to face. Cody Rhodes comes out, they shake hands, and Paul Heyman says that Cody Rhodes has been doing really well as WWE Undisputed Champion, but he says that Roman Reigns wants his championship back, and he tells that respectfully Roman Reigns is going to enter the Royal Rumble, and when he wins, he's coming after what is his. And Paul Heyman asks Cody Rhodes what he wants to talk about, and before Cody Rhodes can say anything, Kevin Owens is in the crowd, and he's calling blasphemy, calling BS, talking about the fact that Cody Rhodes just continues to show how much of a hypocrite he is, because not only did he shake hands with The Rock after everything that The Rock said about him last year, just because that The Rock stroked his ego, Cody Rhodes was cool with them all of a sudden. He mentioned the fact that he kind of helped Roman Reigns stay the tribal chief when he had an opportunity to take him down and everything like that. And this Cody Rhodes has heard enough, and he runs back. Well, he runs into the crowd, and him and Kevin Owens brawl through the crowd. This is kind of cool because a lot of fans film this, because obviously they go to the merchandise stand and everything like that, and apparently eventually I guess Kevin Owens had to be held back by security, and then they come back, and during all this, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga corner Paul Heyman, and they're about to do something to him. We're not really sure what, because of nothing really ever happens. But then Jimmy Uso runs out to make the save, and he does a pretty good job fighting off Tama and Jacob. But eventually, he gets outnumbered, and Cody Rhodes runs back out and helps Jimmy fight off, we're not really sure what they are anymore. I was going to say the new bloodline, but we're not even sure if that's what their name is at this point. It's just Jacob and Tama. And,
because they're all in line, baby.
But later in this, after the segment backstage, Nick Aldis is having him thrown out, and Jacob doesn't want to leave. And doing all this, LA Knight attacks him and just throws him out, and this ends up kind of coming back to haunt LA Knight later in the show. But overall, I like this segment. We got a big announcement of Roman Reigns being in the Rumble, which is pretty significant because he hasn't been in the Rumble since 2020, which if you want to check out that retro, you're more than welcome to.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does.
He'll actually will actually enter this Royal Rumble as an undisputed babyface.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless he turns heel within the next
as
couple.
a beloved babyface, and not a babyface that's forced down your throats.
Yeah, and he's actually gonna get like cheered in this Rumble versus. Actually, that's not true, Chris, because you forget.
He was cheered. He still had that leukemia cancer sympathy going on.
2020. Yeah, he was cheered pretty well. 2014 he was cheered, which is kind of funny because he was a heel in that match. But like,
he turned face at the end of the year.
Yeah. And then 20.
Or no, we're at WrestleMania this year. That was like a few months later.
Yeah.
Because he did with Kane.
But yeah, overall, I like this. You know, I don't think Roman's gonna win the Rumble. I think something's gonna happen where he doesn't win. I don't really think he should win the Rumble. I wouldn't complain like I would before, but I just don't really think there's a need for him to fight for the title this year at WrestleMania. I think there's other stuff he can do. Huh?
It could be.
But we'll see.
There's a path for him, but I don't think him winning the Rumble is going to happen.
Yeah, I think
I do think that maybe Jacob or Tama or Solo, I think they're all going to be in. I think they're going to fuck him over.
Right. What do you think of the segment right here, and everything like that?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really awesome way to start the show. Solo wasn't there this week, probably just due to, selling his sadness of not being the Tribal Chief. Too fucking bad. Get over it, bitch.
Yep.
He wasn't there. The fake Tribal Chief. Not anymore. Can't call the fake Tribal Chief anymore because he's nothing. His theme song says he takes it all, but he took nothing. He literally took nothing. So, I liked the save. I thought the save from Jimmy was pretty awesome. And then Cody making the save again for Jimmy and setting up the tag match for later in the night was awesome. I thought LA Knight throwing Jacob Fatu out of the building was a nice touch, but again, like it came back to bite him in the ass.
Yes, it did. Then we had the next match, or the first match on the show. It was a Women's United States Championship match. It was Chelsea Green with Piper Niven ringside defending against Michin, Mia Yim. I did say Michin, but I will not just say Michin. It's going to be Michin, Mia Yim. That's what I'm going to call her, and that's what we're going to agree on. So,
that's not Michin.
Hey, you know what? I did say it, but I found a loophole. If I say Michin Mia Yim, then it doesn't count. So,
you holes.
How weird would it be if I found that loophole with Gunther? I have to say Gunther Walter like every time type of thing. That'd be weird.
Yeah, or Gunter.
Yeah. But yeah, going through this, continuing with Chelsea Green's United States gimmick. Piper Niven was dressed as a Secret Serviceman type of thing, which was pretty cool. And it's kind of funny because you forget Chelsea Green's not even from the U.S. She's from Canada. So
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. I guess it's Canada now. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. This match was good. I liked this a lot. Mia dominated the beginning portions of the match, and then Chelsea Green, via Piper Niven interference, took control, and eventually, due to interference from Piper Niven and everything like that, when Mia Yim hit the crossbody, Chelsea Green turned it over and got a pinfall herself and hold the tights for the win. But I like this. I give it 3 stars. I actually like the way Chelsea Green won. I think this is the gimmick that she should have, where she kind of takes the cowardly way out to win, whether it's doing something like that or winning by DQ and stuff. I think this can make her stand out as a champion, and I think this is going to lead to Mia Yim, Michin, getting the title win, maybe at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania or something like that. So this is I gave the match 3 stars. I thought it was good stuff. What'd you think of this?
I gave it 3 stars too. It was good. I do like the fact that Chelsea kind of cheated to win. She's a heel after all. Kind of doing everything to keep her championship with herself. So I like that.
And then afterwards, Mia Yim tried to beat her up, and then Piper Niven beat her up. So that wasn't
Ooh.
yeah, that wasn't good. And then we had you know what kind of sucks though with Cole being off SmackDown, he can't really like hate Chelsea Green anymore, which kind of sucks. I feel like Joe Tess is gonna take that role, but he didn't really do that this week, type of thing. He was kind of pretty neutral to everybody. I think except Jacob and Tama. I feel like he's the only one like they didn't really like or anything like that. So it's kind of not fair. But yeah, then we had all the tag teams backstage, and you know, all the tag teams kind of want a shot at the tag team titles because Motor City Machine Guns are upset that they got robbed out of it by Pretty Deadly. And Pretty Deadly kind of come up and say that they worked through a deal with DIY where they could get a title shot. Los Lotharios just kind of want to get their hands on Pretty Deadly. And A-Town Down Under want to have a title shot because they were the longest reigning champions out of all those teams that were there. So Nick Aldis makes an agreement where everyone's going to have to showcase themselves and prove they want a title shot. So they're going to basically like essentially have like a ranking system, but not without having one. They're just going to have like a mini tournament type of thing. So he makes Pretty Deadly versus Los Garzas, and then he makes Motor City Machine Guns versus A-Town Down Under for this show. I like this. You know, I kind of like that it shows that Nick Aldis can take control. I like the jab that A-Town Down Under was throwing in there where they mentioned that they were going to take their talents to Raw, and they kind of pissed off Nick Aldis, so I thought that was funny. What'd you think of this segment out here? I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was a good segment. Yeah, pretty good segment.
Then we had Los Garza with Santos Escobar and Electro Lopez ringside versus Pretty Deadly. This was a good match. Los Garzas dominate in the beginning. They destroy Elton Prince throughout the beginning portions of the matchup, and then eventually the heels cheat out in the end and finally get the advantage. And then eventually Electro Lopez gets on the apron, and this allows Santos to knock off Kit Wilson, and Los Lotharios pick him up in like in a gorilla press position and like do like a body slam type move to him for the win. They did do a bit in the match where they were asking for DIY to come out because, you know, they kind of worked through a deal, but they never came out. They do expand upon that later. I gave this match 3 stars. I thought it was good stuff. I'm not really sure what Legado del Fantasma are though, because this kind of seemed like heelish behavior. I still don't know if the faces are heels right now because they still acted very heelish on this show. It could just be one of those things where, you know, they're just more faces and more liked than Pretty Deadly, but this just kind of seemed weird. But later on they kind of act like faces, so I guess we'll kind of tell next week because there's going to be a match that gets made next week where we'll find out what their role is. But overall, I thought this match was good. I gave it 3 stars. I thought both teams got to showcase themselves well. What'd you think of this?
I liked it. It's definitely interesting for sure. We'll see where Los Garzas go from here. But yeah, it seems like they're being presented as baby faces now.
Then we had the men's United States Championship match. It was Shinsuke Nakamura defending against LA Knight. This was a very good match right here. LA Knight dominates early, but eventually Nakamura throws him into the post and kicks him in the back of the head really rough. And then Nakamura just starts dominating. And then eventually LA Knight mounts a comeback. He hits an elbow drop. You know, Nakamura exposes the turnbuckle, and he tries to send LA Knight into it a few times, but it doesn't work. And then he hits the running superplex onto him, and eventually he lays him out with the BFT after he got his foot on the ropes after the Kinshasa and everything like that. And he's about to win the match with the BFT, but then Jacob and Tama come out, and they attack him. It was kind of weird, though, because then later in the show, when they go through the results, it says this match was a no contest, which wasn't the case, because they attacked LA Knight first, so really LA Knight won this match by DQ, but I guess that's just what it is. And they beat up LA Knight, they destroy him, and then eventually Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso run out and make the save, and fight off Jacob and Tama, and Cody Rhodes gets on the mic and wants a match to be made with, a tag match made, and Nick Otis agrees to it, a type of thing. I thought this match was very good between Nakamura and LA Knight. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. I didn't really mind the DQ finish too much, just because it kind of protects LA Knight in defeat. This kind of keeps that feud going. I kind of hope this doesn't mean that we're going to get what we normally get with Nakamura as the mid-card champion, where he just gets forgotten about. It's kind of looking like it's going that direction at the moment, but we'll kind of wait and see. I still hate Nakamura's new theme song, too. I don't think I'm ever going to like it, but we'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it won't. It probably won't. But yeah, what'd you think of this match? I give it 3 3/4 stars.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's pretty... I like the DQ finish because it protects LA Knight a lot, and it kind of, like we alluded to earlier, that the Jacob Fatu interference was kind of like it predicted. It was predictable that was going to happen. He was going to get back in the building and cost LA Knight, because LA Knight was the one that threw him out in the first place. So I mean, it protects both guys, and it protects LA Knight even more, because it seems like he could be getting involved in this sort of fracas too, I would assume. Again, with the bloodline, but yeah, and it's I like the fact that it set up a tag match for later in the night. Yeah, a lot of good came from it.
Then we had another match. It was Motor City Machine Guns versus A-Town Down Under. This was a very good match right here. Just go watch it. A-Town Down Under looked really strong in this match, as well as Motor City Machine Guns. Eventually, Motor City Machine Guns had Skull and Crossbones for the win. And, yeah, they just win. This match was very good. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. And it continued, the tag stuff going on. So I liked that. What'd you think of this?
I thought this was a really good match too. Also, just nothing too crazy, but a really, really good tag match. It seems like these two teams have really developed a little bit of chemistry, and I don't see that I see them wrestling again really soon.
Could be at the house show. They could have already wrestled at the house show, and you don't even know about it, type of thing. But then DIY are watching this match backstage, and they're upset, obviously, because they didn't really want Motor City Machine Gun to win, because they're kind of done with them. They want to kind of move on, and they obviously, I think, are afraid that if they face them again, they'll lose their belts and everything like that. So I could kind of understand that, huh?
They're terrified.
Who do you think's more terrified, them or you when you were in the cafeteria by yourself?
Me in the cafeteria by myself.
Okay, you got to ask those questions. Now a lot of people are gonna be worried about you, because they don't know what that means out of context. They'll be like, "What was going on in the cafeteria, Chris? That you were afraid to be there by yourself," type of thing. So they're gonna
lots of things scary in there.
But yeah, then Pretty Deadly come up, and they're kind of wondering what happened with DIY. He thought they worked out a deal, and DIY say that they had a lot of things going on tonight, so they didn't really feel like they needed to go out there, type of thing. And they kind of had to focus on championship stuff. And they said they're trying to get them a tag team title match. There's just a lot of backstage politics that's going on. And it seems like the gimmick they're working with...
They're not doing shit.
You don't know, Chris. You know the wrestling business. It's a lot of backstage politics type of thing. So... you're not backstage. You're not seeing what DIY is even doing, type of thing. So you can't just throw statements out there like that until you have evidence that they're actually not doing anything. So you have to.
They're not doing it. They're not doing shit.
But what evidence do you have to support that?
I have lots of evidence.
Do you want to say at least one evidence type of thing, just so that way,
Why would they want to face them? Their heels.
That's a good point.
Evident, right there.
But yeah, so it seems like the gimmick they're going with, where Tommaso Ciampa just wants to kick their ass, but Johnny Gargano is kind of like the one that's keeping everything kind of, keeping Ciampa in line, type of thing, which I think is kind of a decent little gimmick. And DIY walk away from him and said that they're gonna go get to work on this, type of thing. And then Apollo Crews comes up and laughs at them, saying that you know, that kind of what you were just saying now, that they're not going to do shit for you. Like, the chances of you getting a tag title shot is not very likely type of thing. So they kind of get upset with, like, Apollo Crews and everything like that and say he doesn't have any friends, which is kind of true because, you know, his tag partner just got released recently and everything like that. So what do you think of this segment? I thought this segment was good, but kind of, like, mean to Apollo Crews and everything like that. What'd you think?
It was very mean to Apollo. I don't appreciate it. He has lots of friends.
Are you one of them?
Yes.
But yeah, then Nia Jax is backstage, and Candice LeRae comes up and like tells her that like Tiffany's about to go have a championship celebration, which wasn't much of a celebration. And Nia Jax says that you know, she's gonna go out there. I guess just wasn't good.
Horrible.
Then we had the championship celebration, even though it kind of wasn't a celebration. There was no balloons, no party favors. It was just Byron Saxton and then when interviewing her. So that's not really a celebration. Tiffany Stratton comes out, and you know she talks, you know, how about winning the women's championship, about how she's like, you know, she did that at the age 25 and has proven that makes her better than a lot of the fans' heroes and everything like that. And then she mentions that she befriended Nia. She made her think that she was just this dumb blonde, but she just used Nia and, you know, picked her moment at the right time to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase and everything like that. And, you know, mentions that she's going to be a women's champion that all the fans can be proud of type of thing. She got, like, a lot of Tiffy references in there and everything like that. And then she gets interrupted by Nia Jax. And Nia Jax talks about how, you know, Tiffany Stratton's very ungrateful for, you know, because Nia made her a star and everything like that. And she just took it and threw it all in her face and everything like that. And she says that either one or two things are going to happen. You're going to give me back my championship, or I'm going to beat I'm going to beat the crap out of you and take it back. And then Bayley comes out and talks about how she was surprised that Tiffany Stratton was manipulating her all along. But she also points out the fact that you know, that if it wasn't for Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, like, attempted to cash in her contract, Nia wouldn't have even beat her for the championship. Naomi comes out and kind of says the same thing. Bianca Belair didn't really say anything. She was just kind of there, which is kind of weird. She was kind of like a hype person for Naomi there, which is kind of odd. Maybe that's going to be a storytelling device, or maybe it's just how she was feeling that day. So then, you know, everybody gets into like a fight. And eventually, Tiffany Stratton hits a moonsault onto everybody and was laughing at everybody. And then Nick Aldis comes out and makes a 4-way match with all the faces and stuff, where the winner's going to face Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship. I didn't really like this segment all that much. It's probably like a thumbs in the middle, going down type of thing. Tiffany Stratton's promo was very weird because she came off more of a tweener, and which is kind of odd. And I think she should. I said
that too. I put it in the chat. I was like, Tiffany's coming off more like a fucking heel.
Yeah.
Even though she's trying to be a babyface, it's like, there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Because it's like, she got over some like babyface lines and whatnot, but she came off as like a heel, and I was like, first of all, saying she's better than all of your favorites. I'm like, you're a fucking face.
Right.
You're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. And then Nia Jax's promo was really bad. And then the brawl that everybody was having and stuff was really bad. And then the moonsault the moonsault itself wasn't bad, but the setup for her to even do the moonsault was really bad because everyone had to like get in position for her to like do it and everything like that type of thing. So this segment was like, you know, but I liked, you know, I do think I like that the faces don't like instantly trust Tiffany Stratton either, because like again, Tiffany Stratton also cost them the championship a handful of times, so it doesn't really make sense for her to like be aligned with them now and everything like that. So I liked that part of the segment. And Bayley cut a good promo, and Naomi's promo was just kind of a promo. It just happened. But yeah, this segment's like a thumbs in the middle, leading down type of thing. What'd you think of this segment?
Thumbs in the middle. Yeah, leaning down. Like we've said, she just came off as Nia Jax just looked terrible. She looked like she was mumbling through her promo.
Yeah.
Being there, I don't know why. Tiffany's a face. Why is she there? And then the women's tag champs coming up made absolutely fucking no sense. Just none. It just was a really weird segment that really didn't make it at all make any sense in the end. None of it did. It just felt really weird and just really odd. Tiffany's supposed to be this, she outsmarted the heel and there's this big baby face, but she comes off as a fucking heel.
Yeah, it was
so
really...
I hope that SmackDown. I really hope that changes on this upcoming episode of SmackDown because she's not going to get over.
Right.
If she cutting promos like that, and no one will take her. No one. They'll turn her heel in a heartbeat if they keep fucking having her talk like that.
Then we had the 4-way. It was, for the number one contendership for the women's title. It was Bayley versus Naomi versus Nia Jax versus who am I missing? Bianca Belair. That's who I'm missing. The 4-way was good. Everyone kind of a lot of the match was kind of everyone working together against Nia Jax type of thing, and then everyone kind of went at it. The 4-way kind of has two halves. The Nia half and the everybody else half. And anytime Nia did anything, it was really bad. Nia Jax was bad, but she's looked really good in her matches lately, but this was not one of those nights. I'm pretty sure Luke Owen on Wrestle Talks talked about this, where he's putting a pretty big defender of Nia Jax, and then every time, she'll have like a bad match or something, he's like, maybe I don't have a right to be a defender here, because he'll try to be a big defender, but then there'll be a match like this, or a match like Bad Blood 2024, which was really bad with Bayley, or SummerSlam with Bayley, which wasn't great type of thing. So
yeah, they weren't.
Nia just looked awful on SmackDown on Friday. And there was also bits in the match where like Nia would be laid out, and then the faces would like stare at each other for a while and not really know what to do. Like they wouldn't continue to compete in the match type of thing. But eventually, Bayley wins with the rose plant on Naomi, and this was a cool storytelling element because. Bianca accidentally whipped Naomi with her hair, which caused the loss. So that might lead to something, because obviously the big takeaway is it's either Naomi or Bianca are the ones that attacked Jade Cargill to begin with. So that might lead to something. And if it leads to Naomi turning heel, that would even be better type of thing, just because of this segment made that happen type of thing. So that'd be pretty cool. But Bayley won. I was okay with Bayley winning. I feel like they probably want to save the Nia Tiffany Stratton match down the line. Maybe Chamber. I wouldn't do it at Mania. It makes sense because that's a big stage to do it on, but I don't think that's a Mania type of match. But Bayley, it makes sense to do it on because her and Tiffany Stratton have a lot of history together, and they do mention later that Bayley never beat Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton never beat Bayley. So that's cool. But yeah, this match is like a 3 stars. Nia Jax really brought this match down a lot. What do you think of this?
Yeah, it was okay. Bayley winning against Tiffany, okay. I again, if you're trying to get Tiffany over as a fucking babyface, have her face a heel. Don't have her face Bayley. Again, it's just you're just splitting the audience at this point. It's just really weird. Tiffany's obviously gonna be the heel in the match, and it's just I don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Then we had Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso backstage, and they were just kind of talking strategy. Jimmy thanked Cody for saving the family and everything like that, and Cody says to tell Roman that he'll be waiting for him and everything like that. And then when Cody walks away, Carmelo Hayes comes up because he came up last week when Sammy and Jay were there, but he says he likes the fact that him and Jimmy could just have like a nice one-on-one conversation now that his boys aren't there anymore. And he talks about like how like if he crosses him again, like he's gonna end up like Braun Strowman, and he says that Melo never misses, and Jimmy Uso did like a really nice clap back at him. This was a nice little segment. But Carmelo Hayes just needs to stay out of Jimmy Uso's business. He's got things he's got to be doing, and Carmelo Hayes is just taking time away from that. What'd you think of this?
I like the segment. Melo's gonna put his foot in his mouth.
Yes, he is. Oh, no, he talking about his foot in his mouth. He's gonna put Jimmy's foot in his mouth, actually, type of thing.
Go down into his mouth. He's gonna be eating some leather.
Yes, he is. Then Bayley gets interviewed. This is where she kind of talked about like the Tiffany Stratton stuff, where she like never beat her. So then the match is gonna happen on SmackDown next week, which is kind of cool, I guess. So that's fine. What do you think of this interview right here?
I thought it was okay.
And then we had the main event, not the show, because I already covered that, Chris. So you don't need to hide. You can stay right there. It was Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso. This was really good. Cody and Jimmy get the advantage early, but then eventually Jimmy gets the heat on him. There's one point in the match where like Jacob Fatu like hit 2 hip attacks in a row, and it looked like Jimmy got like his bell run, like kayfabe wise type of thing. And Wade Bear was like asking for the match to be like stopped, and the referee didn't stop the match, which wasn't a wise choice. But it's not my decision, I guess. And then Cody Rhodes gets a hot tag. He starts going off on everybody. They do a cool thing where Cody Rhodes hits a super kick, and then followed by this, they do the Power and Glory spot, which is kind of cool because FTR adopted that, and they pretty much showed FTR how to do that move, because I think they've hit this move better than FTR has ever hit this move, so that's pretty cool. So the FTR got to take some lessons from Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso. We've never even teamed before, really.
Hell yeah!
But they probably won't. And then eventually Kevin Owens comes back out, and him and Cody brawl to the back, and Jimmy's left by himself to fight off Tama and Jacob, but he nearly wins the match on his own, but Jacob pulls him out of the ring, and he bounces him headfirst off the announce table. And, that wouldn't really be a bad thing, but the table's different now, and it's more secure now, so it's got more impact on it. So poor Jimmy had to feel the effects of that. And Tama Tonga, hits a DDT flatliner type move on Jimmy, and then he tags in Jacob, and he hits like a choke bomb onto him, followed by the moonsault, and Tama and Jacob win the match. That made sense for them to win, because obviously the Bloodline, well, whatever they are, I don't know what they are right now, whatever Solo's group is, kind of needed to get some momentum back on their side after kind of Solo took a big loss. Now a lot of people are kind of questioning too, what Solo's role is going to be with them, because he kind of let them down on Monday and everything like that. So are they going to like turn on him type of thing? So we'll kind of have to see what happens. And a lot of the big thing on this show was without Solo being there this week, they were kind of more reckless and everything like that, which is pretty scary, because they're pretty reckless with Solo there, but without Solo, I think they're going to be even more savage, so that's kind of scary. But then after the match, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens continued their brawl, and Kevin Owens hits like a running crossbody off of like a couple of equipment boxes, and they both go through the tables, and that's how SmackDown went off the air. I give the match 3.5 stars. It was really good. What did you think of this match and the post-match stuff?
I give it 3 I give it 3 stars. It was really good. Yeah, it was just a really, really good match, and I like the post-match stuff. Poor Jimmy though, left all alone. Poor guy.
It's not Cody's fault though. He just Cody kind of made a mistake. Kevin, he saw red, and he can't help himself sometimes. I mean, I don't think Kevin Owens kind of didn't make it easy for him right there. So don't blame Cody for that.
No, I'm not blaming Cody for it. He's just, poor guy, just left alone, and he got the shit beaten out of him. It's payback, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Thought it was cheap. 2-on-1 cheaters.
Well, they didn't do anything wrong either. They're just wrestling a match.
They cheated 2-on-1. Two people in the ring at the same time.
But they
Get out of the ring.
can't. They can't control. They can't control. What are they supposed to do? Wait for Cody to come back? Like,
yeah. Wait. Stand there and wait.
That'd be awesome if that happened one time in a match. I just waited for the guy to come back. Like,
they're fucking years. But yeah, it's the blonde-headed little bitch. No longer the fake tribal chief. No longer the tribal chief. The crybaby. His group needed some momentum after Solo lost. He didn't take it all. He took nothing, actually, because he took nothing. Nothing. He took nothing. They said he's taking it all. He took nothing.
oh, he took something. He took an L. That's what he took.
He took a big fat juicy L. But yeah, I like the main event. They needed a little bit of a comeuppance because Jimmy was the one that interfered in the tribal combat match with Sammy, so it made sense that they would get their revenge.
There you go. So, do you like Jacob and Tama, or are you like? Do you have the same amount of hatred for them as Solo?
I'm afraid of Jacob Fatu.
What about Tama? He's pretty scary too, though. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's not terrifying.
Yeah. But yeah, that was SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was good. Not great or anything like that. I give it like a B-. The biggest thing that sucked about the show too is it didn't really seem like the crowd was all that into it, like normal shows lately. It kind of seemed like they were quiet. Like they were, the only times they really made any noise was when Cody, Jimmy came out, or Paul Heyman came out, LA Knight. This definitely didn't seem like a hardcore type of crowd that like they've typically been getting. They were kind of quiet throughout the show, so that kind of took a lot. That took away from the show type of thing. Would you grade SmackDown and everything like that?
B-. The Nia Jax shit just weighs it down for me. She's just not good. Like she's the same character she's always been, and she just doesn't improve. And at this point, I don't think she ever will. She's 40 years old. Like there's no improvement. She's done improving. With the very minimal improvement that she made, minimal years ago, stayed the same. The Tiffany, like that's just, I just don't like it. But overall, I thought SmackDown was solid. It was almost a C+ for me, just because of that woman stuff. It really didn't make any sense at fucking all. But yeah, it's a B-.
Yeah, a lot of people were pretty a lot of people like thought the shows like sucked and everything like that, which I don't know. We must have been watching two different shows. Like it got to a point where people were like hating that SmackDown was like 3 hours. Like they think it should go back to 2 hours when it's only been like this. So we're only at like week 2 of it being 3 hours type of thing. So it's like you could see
that they have more time to sort of flesh things out.
Yeah. So I don't understand. I didn't really understand the hate there type of thing, that like they thought this show sucked and like SmackDown shouldn't be 3 hours type of thing. It just didn't really, it didn't really make any sense.
It shouldn't be 2 hours. Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, SmackDown being 3 hours, I'm cool with too, type of thing. So it's like I didn't really understand.
Raw should have 3+ every single night because they have so many fucking storylines going on there that it's not even funny.
Yeah, and then SmackDown, I think will be fine. 3 hours. 3 and 3 hours. Also, they probably didn't really do too much too, because this was the first SmackDown post Netflix. All the storylines have restarted now and everything like that, pretty much. So
they're gonna have some big stories. Like they're gonna have some interesting stuff that will keep you watching. And then once June hits and they go back to 2 hours, you're gonna complain that it should have been 3. That should have stayed 3.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really say whether or not it actually did feel like a drag, because I didn't watch SmackDown Live this week either, because I had to watch the retro that we did recently. So I can't really say whether it did feel like a drag, because I did have the ability to fast forward it and stuff like that. It's kind of tough to really judge, type of thing. I guarantee you, they'll find their footing once we get to like Mania, like because we're still kind of we're in that in between stage of Mania season. So once the Rumble hits, I think SmackDown being 3 hours will be, awesome and type of thing. I still think it's good. I don't think SmackDown's will go back to 3 and 2 hours because a lot of talent, especially now that the Bloodline stuff's picking back up again. The biggest critique we always have is that it takes away from other stuff on SmackDown with it being 2 hours. So it being 3 hours will be so much, especially if the Rock still ends up kind of being a factor into that and everything like that. So, do you think SmackDown should stay 3 hours? Do you think people are just being like? Do you think people are just overreacting this week type of thing, or do you think they have a right to say what they said?
It's an overreaction. I can guarantee you that by June, because SmackDown is going back to 2 hours in June, late June, closer to July, that people are going to complain.
Yeah.
So it's just how it is. It's just they're always going to complain about something. It was because it was the follow up that they wanted.
Oh yeah. And I feel like the crowd didn't help too because they went that into the show this week. So.
No, it happens. Sometimes you go somewhere and the crowd's dead, and then the next week you go somewhere and the crowd's alive and it's electric.
Yeah.
It just depends on where they are. Sometimes if you go down like into the South, I'm not sure where they were for SmackDown this week, but sometimes when you go into like the South, the crowds don't tend to be lively like they are in LA or on the East Coast or in Florida, in places where wrestling is kind of like more of a hotbed.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about some news things. This is kind of WWE, kind of not. This all has to do with wildfires and stuff. Melina hasn't been heard from and stuff. That was reported for a little bit. But Sean Ross Sapp has kind of counteracted this report, saying that she's just fine. Like, it's not what everyone thought that it was type of thing. I kind of speculated that was going to be the case. I think, she's just dealing with whatever she's dealing with, and then is just gonna like. I think a lot of people just got upset probably that she's not.
It was alarming because she wasn't responding.
Yeah, so
that usually sounds the bells that like. They usually gets people going. Like, okay, like what's going on here?
Yeah, so I don't. We still haven't heard anything from her like yet, but we'll see what happens. We haven't heard. It's still early days. What do you think about that type of thing?
It was definitely odd. But especially what was going on around her. Usually, when you don't hear from someone for that long a period of time, your mind kind of wanders. Did she actually pass away, or did she, what happened? Like, why did it take her so long to notify like the promoter or whatever? But I would have to think that it's due to like service being spotty and probably didn't have any service. I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
Right. Do you think people just overreacted and thought one thing, and then all of a sudden they just ran with the story type of thing?
I think people did overreact a little bit. I mean, she's fine. She's okay. Nothing happened. But when I get like this community the wrestling community kind of gets like very like easily upset or
yeah. I mean, at least it wasn't.
Quick.
At least it wasn't like a news story reporting it that like, overreacted like the typical ones that we see. It was like a legitimate news source type of thing this time type of thing. So,
it was fine. I think nothing happened.
And then I said I'd let you take this one. You don't even know how to break it down because we kind of as we said earlier in the video, we were going to talk about this, but then we ruined our schedule completely. That Chris is blaming me for, even though I didn't do anything. But whatever. There's a big thing that happened with Vince McMahon this week, type of thing. A couple big things with Vince. I feel like Vince is always going to be in the news stories, even when he passes. We're always going to be talking about him. But there's a couple of things with
never going to end.
But there's a couple of things with Vince that came to light this week. Do you want to talk about them?
So the SEC so his, like, I don't know how to explain it very well, but like his that he made it seem like his court case is over and done with, that he was a free man and nothing happened, but that wasn't the case. That was just like the SEC filing and whatnot. They found him at fault for, I think they found him at fault. They didn't. I'm not quite sure. That he took money from the company to pay off Janelle Grant or something like that. I forget. I don't know the exact logistics of it. Like it's stuff that goes way over my head. And the second thing is that he wants to start up his own, like, I guess, wrestling company or entertainment company. I don't fucking know. He's starting to put together some people and get a roster together. I'm assuming it's a wrestling company. Because, you know, it's in his blood. This man will do it till he dies. So he's probably hoping that this gets over with sooner rather than later right now, so that he could get back to, you know, running his own wrestling company, I guess. But I don't know. This whole thing is just, it's still spinning. It's not stopped yet. So it really, we won't know until the very end when, if he gets away with it or not, but he made it seem like he was. But if you actually read it, like Janelle Grant's actually moving forward with it, still going forward, so nothing really happened besides the SEC filing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is weird. But I feel like we're just going to get stories like this every month about Vince. I think that was pretty much the case in 2024, where this thing's just not going to go away overnight, as we've seen. I think we're just going to hear little stories like this. We haven't really talked about it yet, him starting up his own company, because it was reported in the fall that he was starting his own company. Originally, we weren't even sure if it was looking like it wasn't going to be wrestling. It was going to be like an entertainment company, but now it's looking like that it's going to be like a wrestling company. And that makes more sense, because anytime he's also tried to like branch outside of wrestling, it's been a failure for him. With the XFL, WWE like films, and then like the WWF New York and all that stuff, they've always been a failure. I mean, XFL the second time didn't fail because of him. It failed because of the pandemic type of thing. So a lot of people kind of have nowadays misreported that they forget the pandemic hit, like right when XFL started type of thing. But yeah, if it's a wrestling company, I don't really know what happens, because I don't know what roster he's really going to get. Because the only one that I think that would be willing to work for him that can like do anything in the ring is probably Brock Lesnar, because you know, he was a pretty big part of the Janelle Grant scandal and everything like that. But I don't think anybody else is open to really working with Vince that could get in the ring and do anything type of thing. And then I think too, even if that's the case, he's also going to be in his 80s. He was out of touch in his 70s. It's going to be even worse in his 80s, because also now he's been out of the business at this point now, like 3 years. Well, I guess 2 years technically at this point. And he hasn't been in the weeds doing anything really, except when like he would change the show of Vince randomly and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be tough to really know if this company would take off. He's also, like, doing his later years in the WWE and stuff, it chased away so many people that I don't think, they're going to want to give him the... Even without all the other stuff, like all of the sexual accusations and everything like that, just... how he was as a booker towards the end of his run, I think is going to sour people to even want to watch this at all and everything like that. And what network's even going to want to work with him to even get this going type of thing. So I just don't see this being, if this ever even can happen, I just don't even see this going well when it actually starts to pick up steam or anything like that. Like, what the hell is he going to get as a roster type of thing?
I don't know. That's the thing, is I don't know who would want to work for him.
Yeah.
I really don't know at this point.
And the wrestlers that would want to work for him most likely can't even do anything anymore. Like Hogan and Taker can't even like wrestle anymore. And plus, too, they have like huge legend contracts right now in WWE that I don't even think Vince could get him out of, type of thing, and they probably don't even want to get out of, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then someone like Roman Reigns, who was a big Vince guy, I don't think is going to leave WWE to do this, because he wouldn't be able to be Roman Reigns and stuff anymore. You'd have to completely change his thin up and everything like that. He probably couldn't even use the gimmick, that the tribal chief gimmick at all, or anything like that anymore. He would have to completely. Huh?
That's all WWE trademark.
Yeah, so like he can't even. He would have to start over pretty much, and Roman Reigns is working a part-time schedule pretty much anyways. It's not going to change once he goes to this company. Like Vince is going to need him every week pretty much. I know Roman's been working every week, but I don't think Roman wants to actually get in the ring and wrestle every week either, type of thing. So.
Oh, he does.
So, and there's the people too that were Vince guys in WWE are doing a lot better in the Triple H regime right now. Like Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre I would say Drew's actually been more of a Triple H guy, Paul Heyman guy, than a Vince guy, if you think about it. But a lot of these people that are, that were Vince guys when he was on the way out, are doing really well in WWE right now. And all the people that aren't there now went to AEW that are Vince guys, like the Hurt Syndicate and stuff. There's always a chance. This sounds weird. Vince's company could partner up with AEW, but that will make AEW look even worse if they do that than they already do. So, but we'll see what happens. Again, all this talk we're doing about Vince is probably going to lead to nothing, but it might lead to something. You just never know with Vince when it comes to this type of stuff. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say about Vince and this whole story and everything like that?
No.
And that's pretty much it. That's the end of WWE Aftershock. This episode, it made it sound like we're ending the show. Like, no, that's just the end of this episode type of thing, not the whole show. Yeah, let's do some nice plugs and promotions. Chris, is there anything you want to plug or promote before we get off of here?
Just watch our channel update video, and you'll know everything that we did. That we're in the future going to do. Our streak of videos, and our streak of saying what we were going to do and actually doing it came to an end on Sunday. Tragic.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's the last of that streak.
I can't make we can't make any promises.
They'll continuously moving forward and give you guys content that you guys are wanting to see from us. We're very excited about doing this again. We've already been more consistent now than we were last year.
Yeah. I think half of it is because your work schedule is a little light. I remember it's always late.
I don't think that we did as many videos in a row as we did, or said we were going to do videos and then do them, because we did win Monday.
Yeah.
Last week. So last week we did the channel update video on Monday.
Yeah.
The review of the first Netflix Raw and the first 3 hours SmackDown. Wednesday we did a video. Thursday we do a video. We did one. Friday and Saturday we did a video. After we said we were going to do it, Sunday we didn't. That's the only day that the plans changed because of Steven.
Thank you for finally. Don't blame Steve. Blame his job. He had all the intention of doing it.
Little Stevie boy. And today is Monday, and we did exactly what we said we were going to do last week, whenever the channel update video, I think. And
we're getting off actually the sign. Well, we're stopping this recording. At the time, I pretty much thought we were going to stop recording this video, which is good too.
Yeah, that's most likely the only video that we're going to be doing this week on Monday. Mm-hmm. But because his other channel needs to get a little bit of focus, a little bit of shine this week, and not be left behind.
Yeah. So, but there's another video we're doing this week. James is going to make his epic return to the channel. I say that.
I don't know about epic.
Yeah, well, I say that, and we're probably just going to do a video like normal, like we always did. It won't be as epic as I think it's going to be. So, but yeah, we're going to do, he's coming back to do a retro. We're doing Royal Rumble 2004, which is going to be a interesting retro to do. So that would be that would be weird. And then...
Was that Crispin?
Huh?
Was that Crispin or was that Brock?
Crispin.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. I guess
Crispin who?
Don't know. But you know, it's time for my other. But yeah, it's time for my other channel to get some love. You know, the non-wrestling channel took a bit of a hiatus. We didn't come back when we wanted. We took an extra week off. But Wednesday won't be anything, but then Thursday we're going to be recording episodes 4 and 5 of Rick and Morty Season 1. And then Friday, Saturday, and I think Sunday, we're going to be doing the first 3 episodes of Season 2 of Yellow Jackets, which we're excited to get back into because, you know, we're almost at the point where we can do Season 3 week to week, which will be fun because my cousin and I haven't done a video yet. Or we haven't reviewed a show yet that's been on week to week. It's only been past stuff or like stuff that has been ongoing for a couple seasons. So this will be fun for us to go and review this show week to week. We just have to, we're just not there yet. We have to get to that point first. We're still a couple of seasons, well, we're still 1 season off type of thing. And we've had like months to do this. And typical Owen Finch fashion, he, you know, I procrastinate and wait till like legitimately like a month before the show is about to come back. So that's just it's just great stuff right there. And you know we'll be doing other stuff on that channel. But next week at some point, Chris and I are gonna start the John Cena retros. We're gonna go through and cover the prototypes run. I don't think the whole thing, but like whatever we can find, we're just gonna put together and talk about his run in professional wrestling before he retired and John Cena took his place somehow. I don't know how that happened. So we're gonna talk about his run there. Do you ever know what happened to the prototype? I kind of miss him. He just stopped showing up.
I don't know what the hell happened to him. He disappeared.
And then next week we're gonna at some point we're going to cover John Cena's first episode that he ever wrestled as John Cena. He was never anybody else. That was his first match ever. You know, we never heard of John Cena before that. So you know, we'll cover his debut on the main roster, and then there'll probably be an Aftershock in there. Oh, GM's coming back next week. Regardless of. If we could get 3 people on, it doesn't matter. If we're not going to wait any longer. So we're going to be doing GM. GM's going to come back, and Chris and I are probably going to still not get a trophy, probably. So that's not good. So actually, you might get a trophy. I think you have more of a but I'm probably not going to get a trophy, which is going to be kind of funny because you and AJ were like almost in last place, like head to head, and then you guys are get into 1 trophy is gonna get you guys into like 1st and 2nd place pretty much and everything. Like actually I'm pretty sure if you get a trophy you go into 1st place because I think you were beating AJ originally before you got that trophy. So
I think no, because I don't think I think I'd be in 2nd because I think he has more fans than me.
We haven't looked at it in a while, so we have to look. You do realize if you get a trophy,
I think he has more money.
Yeah.
I think that would put him ahead of me.
You do realize, by the way, if you get a trophy, our alliance is over pretty much, right?
I know.
I'm just wanna.
I know.
I like how I feel like we started an alliance, but then I fucked up so bad last week. We couldn't even do our alliance then. That's because I fucked up so bad. Well, I said last week, but the last episode that I fucked up so bad. So,
tragic.
But yeah,
but the alliance meant to be broken eventually.
It's not over yet. You still got to get a trophy. So, I could.
We'll see. I might not get one.
Yeah, I might not let you get. I might not let you get a trophy.
I still have to do like run-ins and shit, and I haven't done any of that.
AJ, by the way, if AJ gets another trophy, we're fucked. We can't catch
If
up.
AJ gets another trophy, I'm pretty sure it's over. 'Cause we're almost to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're not coming back from that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're just
leave the save file and just be like, "Oh, sorry, we're starting over."
yeah, but it's on recording, so we can't do that. So yeah, and yeah, you know what? Too, if AJ beats us, we'll probably I'm never gonna hear the end of it either because I have to do videos with him and he'll brag about it probably every chance he gets. So
Most likely.
you know. Because he's better at saving. I still can't believe I got my budget down to $143. Like when I saw, I didn't even know you could go down that low. Like
I didn't either. I didn't know they would let you. They let you get down to 0.
Remember in the game and then well in the video. When we do trades, you can trade like a wrestler for like all your budget, pretty much type of thing.
Yeah.
And we just never did it. I think didn't we try to do it with like the computer and that didn't happen.
I think we did.
Yeah, he just said no because most likely than not the computer. I've learned that the computer will always say no to a trade. They never will say yes. So, but anyhow, that's the end of this video. We're just rambling now. We will talk to you guys later. Well, Chris won't, but I'll talk to you next week.